Hey guys, it's Upa here, and we have a brand new hero, YAO, as you can see. Legendary hero, of course, from Sagacity Alliance, which is nice because it has been quite a while since we got our most recent Sagacity Alliance hero, although it is already a very strong faction, so this will hopefully make it even stronger. So it's a support type and blue mark, and let's see what it does. So basic attack, Viper Bite, deals some basic attack damage and some internal injury damage to a single enemy. Afterwards, refreshes the duration of all attribute buffs. So pretty simple. Healing Elixir, special 2, restores all allies HP by 90 times Yaoxi's initial speed, and grants them a shield by 270 times Yaoxi's initial speed for 2 turns up to 2 layers. So this 2 layers part is probably going to be quite a big deal, but of course we'll have to see what the values are. Let's keep going. The passive increases allies' basic attack damage and skill damage dealt by 0.016% of YAOC's initial speed during a pursue and attack. Up to 3000 points of speed can be calculated. So what this would mean is that when you do have 3000 speed, then this would be equivalent to 3000 times 0.016, which is 48% of basic attack damage and skill damage increase. Obviously, this is a very significant amount. We can also take a look at these values over here. So we have restores allies HP by 90. Of course, we want to times that by 3000, which is going to be 270,000 healing. And we also want to see the shield strength, which is going to be 270 times 3000 once again. And each shield will be, if calculated correctly, 810,000 health. That actually seems extremely high, so maybe perhaps I calculated wrongly. I don't think so, but if I did, let me know in the comments. 810,000 health shield, which can stack up to 2 layers, is going to be incredibly strong. Anyway, next, going back to the passive. When entering a battle, if YAOC has more than 1000 points of initial speed, then for every 1 point exceeding 1000, self gains 80 extra points of HP, up to 160,000, I believe. Yeah, 160,000 points can be obtained this way. So this will just essentially be hit when you have 3000 speed, which seems to be the goal for him. Finally, his special 4 grants attack up to all allies for 2 turns, deals some basic attack damage and internal injury damage to all enemies, and removes all buffs from enemies. So his basic kit, I would say, is decently strong, especially his special 2. His special 4 so far isn't anything that incredible. Of course, removing all buffs is going to be nice, but we have seen heroes which have this before, I believe. But of course, exclusives are the most important thing, so let's see what this has. At the beginning of each wave, increases YAOC's turn meter by 30%. Pretty standard. We've seen this on many other heroes like Kalana, for example. At the beginning of any turn, if 5 or more enemies' current tenacity is not lower than 200%, so if 5 or more enemies' current tenacity is higher than 200%, then increases all allies on your team turn meters by 30%, which can be triggered up to 10 times. So this is going to counter basically many different characters which grant tenacity. So I believe some examples will be Sun Wukong. Kalana also, I believe, gives a bunch of tenacity. And yeah, just seems to counter basically lots of tenacity related heroes, which is right now a very strong stat. Next, exclusive 2. Each time after an ally pursues and attacks, YAOC gains Elixir and Electricity storage. Let's see what this does. When Elixir is stacked to 10 layers, YAOC additionally casts Healing Elixir once, which is the special 2. And when Electricity storage is stacked to 20 layers, YAOC additionally casts his special 4 once. These effects can be triggered once respectively before YAOC acts in the next turn, which is going to be very often since YAOC himself is going to have some very high speed. Then on his exclusive 2, Healing Elixir also grants all allies turn meter by 20%. That's going to be incredibly strong. And lastly, Electroshock Therapy, which is special 4, grants all allies internal injury up to for 2 turns. So this is actually a brand new effect over here. I don't believe there's any other internal injury character which grants internal injury up to. So this by itself, honestly, is probably going to make him a must-have for internal injury related content. Next, for exclusive 3, when YAOC's turn ends, he'll cast Viper Bite to pursue and attack one random enemy. That's his basic attack. I wouldn't say this is that big of a deal. For every 1 ally with the pursue and attack tag deployed, reduces all allies' basic attack damage and skill damage taken by 15%. And of course, this will max out at 75%, which is 15 times 5. And when 5 allies with the Pursue and Attack tag are deployed, YAO additionally casts Healing Elixir, which is a special 2 once, which will give your team a massive shield. So he's going to be looking like an extremely strong support. He does some very incredible things, mainly increasing your team basic attack damage and skill damage, of course reducing the basic attack damage and skill damage taken. He's going to do so much healing from his special 2, and his shields also are going to be really, really massive. And I think maybe the most revolutionary thing about his kit is this internal injury up 2. So where do I think he'll be used? Well, very obviously he's going to be used in internal injury related content. I think that's a given. But I think he's also going to see a spot in the Pursue and Attack team. Right now that's currently consisting of Talis, Penny, Irato, Felicia, Sun Wukong, and the Serpent Pet. I think YAO will probably replace Sun Wukong on that team. Of course, people will have to test, but I think that's the most promising thing. And yeah, overall looking like a very strong character, unsurprising considering the level of characters we've seen recently, and I'm really looking forward to his release. I am considering quite heavily summoning for him because I am close to Pity. Normally, I would recommend that you guys don't do it unless you have the means to, save for the next miracle, which is going to come out very soon, the next limited time hero, which is going to come out on Christmas. So I recommend you guys save for that unless you have the means to get both. So yeah, let's look forward to his release and see where he's used, how good he is. Of course, sometimes what we can tell from a hero's strength from just the text is not sufficient and we have to test it in game. But yeah, it'll be releasing soon and looking forward to it. So that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.